And when Jesus rose up early on the first day, which is the Lord's, his first appearance was to Mary Magdalene, out of whom he had cast forth 7 demons. In the early morning darkness of the first day of the week, even as the Lord's day was dawning, Mary of Magdala, one of the Lord's female disciples, went with the other Mary to have a look at the tomb. And Mary Magdalene, for fear of the Jews, all of whom were burning with rage, had not done what women customarily do for their loved ones who have died. So she, with the spices they had prepared, took some of her lady friends, among whom was the other Mary, and went to visit the sepulchre where the Lord had been placed. Now these 3 women visited that spot: Mary, Mary Magdalene, and her daughter Sarah. Now they were all afraid that the Jews would see them, so they agreed, "Even though we were not able to weep and mourn for him on the day of his crucifixion, let's all go and do so now." They wept and wailed over what had happened, and they took ointment with him to pour over his body. And as they neared the burial site, they asked each other, "Now who will roll the stone from the mouth of the tomb, so that we might go in, sit at his side, and perform what is due?" The stone, you see, was very large. "And if someone should see us, as we all fear they might, and we find ourselves unable to do so, let us at least place what we have brought before the door as a memorial to him, and we will weep and beat our breasts all the way home." But as they were approaching the tomb, they looked up, and on their arrival they saw where the giant stone had been rolled away from the opening, and they found the burial spot uncovered. So Mary Magdalene ran over to Simon Peter and to the other disciple, whom Jesus loved, and said, "They have taken the Lord away from the tomb, and we do not know where they have placed him." Peter and the other disciple therefore hurried out and raced to the tomb. The 2 of them ran there together, but the other disciple outran Peter, arriving first at the burial place. He bent down and saw the linen cloth lying there, but did not enter into it. Then Simon Peter came following him, and did go in. And Simon, bending over, saw the burial linens there, and the cloth from his head rolled up and in another spot. And he went away marveling over all that had happened. So the other disciple, who got to the tomb first, went in and saw, and he believed. You see, at the time they had not understood from the Scriptures that it was needful for Jesus to rise up from death. The women, however, went up to the tomb, bent over, opened the door, and had a look inside. And right there, in the midst of the tomb, they saw a handsome young man sitting, all dressed in dazzlingly bright attire. The angel then asked the women, "Why have you come here? Who are you looking for? Him that was crucified? He has risen up and gone away. But if you should doubt my words, just bend down and look inside." And when they went into the tomb, they did not find the body of the Lord Jesus there. Instead, they saw a young man dressed in a white robe sitting off to the right-hand side, and they were frightened. "Have no fear," he said to them. "I know that you are seeking Jesus of Nazareth, who was crucified. He is not here, but has risen like he said he would. Come and see where he was put. See that he is not there. Realize that he has risen up and gone back to the place from which he was sent." And all of a sudden, even as they were marveling at this, 2 men stood beside them in garments that gleamed like lightning. And the women were so frightened that they fell to their faces on the ground before them. But then those men questioned them, "Why are you looking for the living among the dead? He is not here. He is risen. Call to mind what he said to you while he was yet in Galilee. The Son of Man must be handed up to wicked men, undergo crucifixion, and on the 3rd day be raised again." Then they recalled the things he said. "Now go quickly to Peter and the disciples, and let them know that he has risen from the dead. And behold, he is going on ahead of you into Galilee. Listen, I am telling you as he told you. You are all to meet him there." Then, frightened and bewildered, they quickly left the tomb and fled in fear and tremendous joy. And without saying anything, they ran to inform his disciples, for they were too afraid to tell anyone about what had happened. Now Mary stood weeping just outside the tomb, and even as she wept, she stooped down into it and saw 2 angels sitting there all dressed in white, one at the head and one at the feet where the body of Jesus had been placed. The angels said to Mary, "Woman, why are you weeping?" "Because they have taken my Lord away," she said, "and I do not know where they have put him." Now after Mary had spoken these words, she turned around and saw Jesus standing there, though she did not yet recognize him. Jesus asked her, "Woman, why are you crying? Who are you looking for?" And supposing him to be the groundskeeper, she said to him, "Sir, if you have taken him away somewhere, then please tell me where you have placed him, and I will go and get him." Then Jesus said, "Mary." And she turned around and cried, "Rabboni," which means teacher. Jesus said, "Do not touch me, for I have not yet ascended to the Father. But go to my brothers, and let them know that I am going up to my Father, who is also your Father, and to my God, who is also your God." Now behold, even as the women were mourning and weeping there along the way, the Lord Jesus met them, and appeared to them, saying, "Hello there, for whom are you weeping? Stop your crying this instant. I am the one that you are seeking." And they went up to him, took hold of his feet, and worshipped him. "Have no fear," he said to them, "but let one of you go to your brothers, the disciples, and tell them that they should travel on to Galilee and meet me there. Say to them, 'Let's go. The Master has risen from the dead,